World War III releases tomorrow. After a rough couple of years, it's finally coming in a more stable and playable state from its previous launch, which isn't really a high bar to set. It's bittersweet to me, really. This was the game that started the channel. Early on, I chose to hitch myself to this game and follow the development because I saw something special in this product. I saw a diamond in the rough, and now, nearly 3 years and 28,000 subs later, here we are. World War III is getting another chance to show off the unique first-person shooter experience that it provides. From a creator's perspective, this is one of those things that you really feel like you made a good decision early on because I saw something, I thought it was something special, and it's about to pay off. But what I want to talk about today is something a little bit more important than that. I want to talk about why the release of this game, especially as a free-to-play title, is important for the market. Because this is one of those games I feel like is going to bring some developers back down to earth a little bit. It's going to hopefully make those bigger companies rethink their approach to the creation of their games and the way that they market them and the way that they monetize them. However, this game has to be released and maintained correctly. So I want to touch on what could be the sharp downfall of the game as well. My name is Tacti, thanks for clicking on the video. If you enjoy it, feel free to hit that red button below. And also, if you're planning to pick up World War III and get into the closed beta, you can use the creator code link down in the pinned comment below to support the channel. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I primarily cover indie games and speak very, very little about those bigger games unless it's kind of to poke fun at them. And that's for a few reasons. One of the reasons is I like a good underdog story. I like when I see the little guy succeed, but I also think that indie games have more of an incentive to be more artistically creative, to be more grounded in their development, to focus more on what the players want than what's going to make them the most money. And I think indie devs have to try a little bit harder to really push out quality content, especially with such little resources. They don't have the big name recognition that those AAA devs have. AAA titles can basically just get sales based strictly off their brand. A few examples here, titles like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Tom Clancy. Those names alone just mean sales. And they know that. So that means development can go several different ways. And I want to be clear here, I'm not talking about the developers themselves. I'm not talking about those guys that are sitting there coding for hours. I'm talking about the 58-year-old suits who see numbers and spreadsheets and then make their decisions based off that. But in this case, if you're Call of Duty, you just slap a different skin on the same game and call it a day. If you're Ubisoft's Tom Clancy, you design the most uninspired, generic, lazy games while keeping the same animation assets from other games. And if you're Battlefield, you look at trends like TikTok and Michael Bay movies, and you really try to pull the youngsters in to establish more and more for the future generations. You aim to produce as many shots of endorphins as you can. And all these things make for bad gameplay, but it sells because they're the largest gaming companies, so people will continue to sink their money in because they're mainstream, and that's just part of the cultural norm. Also, these companies have psychology down to a science, so they know what your brain wants, and they think that's going to drive sales, which it does. But this is where World War III comes in to shake things up a bit. World War III is an indie title that now has an opportunity to rattle the market, even if it's just slightly. If everything goes smoothly at launch, and that's a big if right now because with the hype, we don't know what World War III is going to do. It's going to draw people from the Battlefield crowd, and hopefully the servers won't be overrun. But if that goes smoothly, they're making a unique game, and more importantly, they're making it free. They've created a first-person shooter with more depth in regards to weapon customization and the general gameplay design than Battlefield, Call of Duty, or the game centered around the most important part of gameplay, realistic gunplay.
High-octane shooter combining realistic gunplay with personalized classes.
Now, some will say that this game is just a Battlefield clone, but it really is not. If you've seen any of my previous videos or played the Veterans Alpha Test, this game is something very unique in its design and is going to draw some attention and hopefully retain that attention of the player base. This will be good for the first-person shooter realm because it offers competition for the lackluster development over the past several years that we've seen. And that makes the gaming industry better as a whole. Competition drives ingenuity, and when competition is flat, ingenuity falls to the wayside because there's very little need to make a good product or to innovate, and instead it just becomes a numbers game, a psychology game. So again, this is where World War III can make a statement. A unique modern game focused on infantry gameplay and player freedom with loads of customization options releasing as a free-to-play title. Anybody can play this game and unlock the weapons and the optics. This isn't like the other My Games title, Warface. No renting guns here, no pay to win, if that's even a thing in that game anymore. I don't know, I haven't played it for a very long time. I just know over there that you rent weapons. You don't have to rent weapons in this game. You get weapons by playing the game, and that's it. There will be a battle pass system somewhere down the road. I don't know if it's going to be there on launch. I don't know if it's going to be open beta, but there will be a battle pass system. But the same goes for Call of Duty and Battlefield. They'll be monetizing the heck out of their games. So this kind of stigma that free games monetize more than paid games is just not true at all. But World War III brings in some competition in regards to how the game is monetized as well. If World War III maintains the gameplay experience we saw in the Veterans Alpha test and maintains integrity during its lifetime, it's going to make some noise, and these big AAA developers, you best believe they're taking notes right now. I guarantee this launch is on those big studios' radars. They're going to see what this small project can do, and hopefully they're going to take some notes from that, because we want the market to be better as a whole. Again, that is if, and since I mentioned ifs, let's talk about those. There's some things that World War III must do to succeed and remain competitive in the field. Because like I said earlier, indie devs, they've got to do it better. They've got to work a little bit harder than those AAA devs, and they have to be a little bit more creative. That name recognition isn't going to get World War III anywhere. So World War III will do great things if, number one, they maintain proper monetization. The publisher, My.Game, seems to have a poor reputation when it comes to the games that they host. Like I said, I don't remember the monetization in the game Warface other than you rent guns, and I hated that system. And as of now, everything we know in this game as far as monetization is strictly cosmetic, and all the weapons will be unlocked through gameplay. If this system remains in place, that will give the developers and the publisher, most importantly, positive rep at the cost of probably greater income. Now, as the game grows and gets more attention down the line, there's going to be a pull to make gameplay items locked behind a paywall, because that's just how people work. That's just how the human condition works. There's going to be a pull to put stronger weapons, stronger gadgets, or whatever that may be, behind that paywall because they feel like that's going to make them more money. And yes, maybe that's true. A pay-to-win system may make you more money, but in the long term, you're really losing out, because not only are you losing players in the game, but you're losing out on reputation for your future games. So the number one priority here for this game to succeed and to thrive is that integrity must be maintained. Along with proper monetization, consistent content has to be pushed, and this is partially my concern with the game. You've got, I think, 4 maps and 2 game modes in the closed beta, and the open beta doesn't start until March. You've got to maintain the attention of players and promote progression in your game, and like it or not, the battle for gamers' attention is going to continue. Battlefield may lose this round as far as the initial launch goes, but they're going to keep making the game better and better and better, and World War III is still going to have to compete for those players. So as Battlefield continues to improve and drop more content, World War III is going to have to do the same. One of the things this consists of is more game modes, including a recon mode to capitalize on the disaster that is Hazard Zone right now, more weapons, and more maps. If the content is too slow and can't maintain the player's attention, the game won't leave much of a mark. So that's my biggest concern. But lastly, the game has got to come to consoles, which has not officially been stated or confirmed, but it's something they've spoken to their investors about, and I know their official position is we'll just see how the launch goes first, but I'd be willing to put money down that there's already steps being taken toward console release, whether that's some sort of testing or some sort of simple port of the game. They haven't said much about that, but another project from them, Chernobylite, is supposed to be ported to PS5 and Xbox Series X as well. But along with that, the Farm 51 became an authorized PS5 dealer several months ago, so a lot of that is coming together. I'd be willing to put down my yes to the question, is the game coming to consoles? I don't know when that is, I don't know what the plan is with that, but releasing this on consoles, again, is going to bring those AAA developers back down to earth a bit. As for me, I'm very hopeful for this game. I'm optimistic, but I'm also biased, so you've got to keep that in mind. My opinions of this game may be with some rose-tinted glasses. Everyone's got biases, so it's important to keep those in mind, and it's important for you to know yours. But overall, I think this game is going to provide something very special to the market, and it's going to make things a little bit better when it comes to the competitive field of modern first-person shooters. I'm excited for some of the things they may be able to do with this game, including, again, their recon mode, hopefully that comes in the future, which is their tactical royale style game mode, and some sort of competitive mode, maybe like a small-scale search and destroy or something like that. I'm hoping for all those in the future. But that's all for this one. Again, if you decide you want to buy into the closed beta, grab it from my link in the pinned comment down below to support the channel, and hit that subscribe button for more content. Thank you for your time. Until the next one, be bold, be courageous, stay tactical.